Hot Take Tuesday time. Let's get into some of these scorching hot takes. The first one is a college football one. I think Marcel Reed can win the Heisman next year. And I know it's an inopportune time to have that take after he just had 3 turnovers, 2 interceptions, game-clinching interception on the goal line after he did drive the boys all the way down there pretty easily, I might add. The guy's been a gamer all year. He's very inaccurate on the short to intermediate stuff. He really is. But he's very... I think you can compare a guy like Marcel Reed to Jayden Daniels. Because in Jayden Daniels' second year as a starter before he got hurt, he had like a 56% completion percentage. He was like 60 his freshman year, went down his sophomore year, got up to 65%. But the knock on Jayden Daniels when he was at Arizona State is he's good with his leg, he has deep ball accuracy, but he just misses on the little stuff in the intermediate short game. Like he was inaccurate early on in his career. So many similarities between Marcel Reed and Jayden Daniels. If he can really develop this offseason and go in the lab, get his footwork correct, get better at reading a defense, like you can teach accuracy. You could teach accuracy. You can't teach what Marcel Reed can do with his legs. You can't teach the arm that he has. And he does have he had some of the prettiest deep balls all season. Like that throw even to Craver against Miami was electric. So Marcel Reed is a great deep ball. Jayden Daniels' completion percentage his sophomore year was lower than 60% before he got injured. If Reed can continue to develop, get the footwork down, get the accuracy down, because that is something, it's not like either you have it or you don't. If he can do all those things, they're already returning Mario Craver. If they can reload on the defensive side of the ball, if they can get him another weapon because they're losing Casey Concepcion in the transfer portal, I think Marcel Reed has a real chance to be the Heisman. And I've been saying he's going to win the Heisman for the past 2 months, and I understand that. But I love this kid, and the flashes are just so unbelievably high. His ceiling is so unbelievably high. Like I said, Jayden Daniels-esque. He just needs to hone in on the little things. And I think people at Texas A&M are talking about like, yeah, get rid of this guy. What? Because he had 2 bad games to end the year. Forget about what he did in Death Valley. Forget about what he did in Notre Dame, in South Bend against Notre Dame, against the Fighting Irish. I was just forgetting. Those are 2 impressive road wins. He stunk against Texas. He stunk against Miami. I understand that, but the ceiling is so high with this kid. You'd be crazy. There's a reason Lane Kiffin tried to recruit him, though. There's to LSU. You'd be crazy to move off of this guy, okay? Marcel Reed is my way too early Heisman pick. I'm obsessed with this guy, obviously. If we start next season and it's the same problem where he's just inaccurate on the short to intermediate throws, then throw everything I said out the window. Obviously, the kid doesn't want it bad enough. But I think he does. I think he does based off of I've never met him and I follow him on Instagram and I've seen how he talks in post-game interviews and I've seen how commentators and media members have talked about their interactions with him. He seems like he's a confident, hardworking kid. That's what Elko says as well. So I think he has it in him. I think he's going to work hard and develop this offseason and then look out if this kid can get accurate on the intermediate to middle stuff and start processing a little bit quicker and they get him another weapon again, like replace Concepcion. The college football's in trouble. All right. The New England Patriots would not make the playoffs if they were in the NFC. The QBs of the teams the Patriots have beat: Josh Allen, Tua, he's benched right now. Spencer Rattler, benched. Cam Ward, Dylan Gabriel, benched. Michael Penix, Justin Fields, benched. Baker Mayfield, Jackson Dart, Tyler Huntley, backup. What are we talking about here? 3 first-year starters, 4 QBs that have now been benched, and 2 backups. The Patriots have had the easiest strength of schedule in the NFL, and it's not even close. The combined winning percentage of teams that the Patriots played is 380. They are 2-2 against teams above 500, with one of them being a win over the Carolina Panthers. No, I said that with a lot of disrespect to the Panthers. They're still a good football team. That's a good win for them, whatever. That's just disrespectful to say that this New England Patriots team is better than the Rams, the Eagles, the Seahawks, the 49ers, the Bears, and the Packers. Because they beaten nobody. Because they beat the Titans, Jets, Giants, the Bills once, and the Panthers. We're going to say that this team would be in the playoffs if they were in the NFC. Only if they were in the NFC South. Then I can see your argument. But they are not a top 7 team in the NFC. They're not even a top 5 team in the AFC. They've just rode the coattails of a garbage schedule. And once they have to play a real team with a real defense in the AFC playoff, they are going to get bounced. And I think it's going to be ugly. They haven't played a top 10 defense. They've only played one top 15 defense in scoring, and that is the Carolina Panthers, who are like 13th. They're the most fraudulent paper tiger team in the NFL. That's so obvious. And everybody's saying, well, Will Campbell's coming back. Will Campbell is not even a top 5 rookie offensive lineman, and he was picked 4th overall. The Patriots still were 3rd in sacks allowed with Will Campbell healthy. Their offensive line stinks. And they don't have Jamar and T. Higgins on the outside where they can make up with garbage offensive line play. They just haven't played any elite pass rush that has a somewhat competent offense to complement. So the Patriots are done. They're the worst team in the playoffs. They're a first-round exit. They wouldn't even be in the playoffs if they were in the NFC. And my last hot take for Hot Take Tuesday, Brock Purdy is a top 10 quarterback, ladies and gentlemen. Brock Purdy's last healthy season, 2 years ago, he was top 5 in passing yards, top 3 in passing touchdowns, had the best touchdown to interception ratio out of all of the QBs that were top 8 in passing touchdowns. Brock Purdy is currently this season 6th in passing yards per game. He has 18 touchdowns in 7 games. That would be 43 touchdowns on a 17-game pace, or on a 17-game sample size. On that same pace, he would currently be 2nd in the NFL right now if he played 15 games, which everyone else has played, only behind Matthew Stafford. So his numbers right now, stretched across a full season, would be 43 touchdowns, 4,200 yards. So he's put together top 10 statistical seasons multiple times. And the only wins aren't a QB stat, but in case they are for you, the only quarterbacks with higher winning percentages in the playoffs are Joe Burrow and Pat Mahomes. The only starting quarterbacks with a higher winning percentage in the regular season are Pat Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, and Bo Nix. So he's top 5 in statistical. He's had multiple top 5 statistical seasons. He's top 10 in yards per game this season, top 3 in touchdowns per game this season. Wins aren't a QB stat, but if they are, he's top 6 in playoff win percentage, tied for 3rd. He's top 5 in regular season winning percentage. What metric is he not a top 10 quarterback? People love to throw shade at him because he's in a Kyle Shanahan system. Two things can be true at once. The system is very good, and Brock Purdy is also very good. He's very accurate. He throws with a ridiculous anticipation. He doesn't make too many stupid mental errors, and he's an underrated athlete. People don't like to give him credit for his escapability, his accuracy on the run, his arm talent, even though he does have, so it's in there. Watch the games. Purdy's a top 10 quarterback. Purdy is a top 10 quarterback. So recap the Hot Take Tuesday. Marcel Reed is my way too early Heisman pick. Way too early Heisman pick. I'm telling you, man, the Jayden Daniels, the ceiling, the flashes are there. He just needs to hone in on the accuracy and the processing a little bit. But those are intangibles that can be taught. Like it's not you have it or you don't. You can get more accurate. We saw that with Jayden Daniels with 60%, 50%, 65%, 68%, 70% and a Heisman at LSU with 40 touchdowns. We've seen players get more accurate as they've developed within the systems in their college football career. So I'm not done with Marcel Reed at all. I think the Patriots obviously wouldn't, like, they're going to get bounced first round. They're the most fraudulent team in the NFL. People are all up, like they're glazing Drake May because he had 2 turnovers and needed a fourth quarter comeback against Snoop Huntley and a Ravens defense that is 25th in the league in pressure rate, 30th in sacks, and has geriatrics in their secondary. Like Drake May was good. He's made some great throws. He's a top 10 quarterback. I'm not saying he's not, but the Patriots are 2-2 against teams above 500. The teams they lost to above 500, the Bills and the Steelers too. They lost to the Steelers. They lost to the Raiders early on this year. For some reason, those games don't count. They beat the Panthers. They beat the Bucks. The Bucks are garbage. Like their best win is that Sunday Night Football game against the Bills. Other than that, they played, I think, 4 teams that are above 500. 4. And they're 2-2. It's a Mickey Mouse run by this New England Patriots team. They're going to get eviscerated in the first round if they play a real football team. If they play the Chargers, I think they can win. But even the Chargers have a good pass rush with 2-2 below 2. If they play the Steelers, I think they could win that game as well. If TJ Watt plays, different story. And then I think Brock Purdy's a top 10 quarterback. And I think people like to talk down what Brock Purdy does because he's in the Kyle Shanahan system. I think if he was in a different system, would he be as successful statistically? Yeah, I think so. I really do think so. I really, really do think so. Maybe not top 5, but he'd be top 10 in categories for sure, depending on like if you throw him on the Titans, it's a different story, obviously. But I think he's a great quarterback, a great accuracy, great pocket presence, one of the most underrated quarterbacks in the NFL. I love me some Brock Purdy. I've been a Brock Purdy stan for a little while. So yeah. Thank you for listening. If you're watching on YouTube, hit the subscribe button, turn on post notifs. Go follow on all platforms. I go live on TikTok all the time. I'm done getting restricted on TikTok, so make sure you go follow on TikTok for sure.